Hello and welcome to A Lovely Masterpiece of a Life. If this is your first time here, my name is Brittany Garcia and this is my husband.
I'm Roberto.
And this video that you're about to watch is all about the things that you need to know when you're single before you get married, but it'll also help you if you're already married. So anyways, we're gonna do another introduction in a little bit, but it's because this video is posted in two places. We actually started another channel.
Mm-hmm. So it's called Control F5 because the idea behind it is that when you hit Control F5 in a computer, it resets the whole thing. So we feel like we need a reset on all areas of life: finances, faith, family, friends. And we just believe that in order to see change around us, we need to build strong communities. But in order to build strong communities, we need to build strong families. And the way we build strong families is by building strong marriages. But before we even build strong marriages, we need to empower young people that haven't even gotten married yet how to have successful marriages. And so this is what that's going to be about. We don't have a lot of experience, but the little experience that we do have, we want to share with you.
Right. So enjoy the video and be sure to check out our other channel. We'll leave the link down below in the description box and we hope to see you over there. Leave us a few suggestions down below of what topics you would like to hear us talk about. And we'll also be sharing our story eventually, but I hope you guys enjoy and I'll talk to you very soon.
What's up, guys? My name is Roberto.
And my name is Brittany.
And we are a happily married couple. Our mission is to help build stronger communities by building stronger marriages and working on all these areas of life, which is faith,
family,
fitness,
friends,
and finances. So, 5 things that you should know if you're single and you want to get married. But it's also 5 things that could help you build a stronger marriage if you're already married.
Yeah.
The first thing that we want to talk about is being okay being alone.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of young people, and even myself included before I got married, I was not comfortable being alone. I felt like I always had to have, even if I wasn't in a relationship, I always had to have my eyes on somebody, constantly thinking, oh, that could be the one, so I'm going to put all my attention and all my focus on that person. And it really wrecks the inside of you, because if that person doesn't pay attention to you, then you feel like all your self-worth is wrapped up in seeking after that attention and affirmation from that person.
Every human being seeks affirmation, and every human being wants to feel important and needed. So it's okay that we want to feel that need of always having somebody there. But if we feel like we almost can't survive without always having to have somebody there, we break up with somebody and immediately 1 day later or 1 week later we already have another person in our life. It's a sign that there's a wound or a void inside our heart that we're trying to fill with another person, and another person is never going to fill that void. Because marriage, a lot of people have said that marriage has to be with somebody putting 50%, another person putting 50% to bring in one unit. That's not true. It has to be a 100% complete person, a 100% complete person that could build a strong marriage. So being okay with being alone, one of the things that you could do is start spending time alone. It's as simple as that. Being okay going days, going even weeks with, I'm not saying not seeing somebody, or hanging out with friends, but try not to always idolize the fact that you need to have a person there, always talking to somebody, always going on dates with somebody. Be okay dating yourself, as cliche and weird as that might sound. Be okay with loving yourself enough to just be okay being alone.
Yeah, and during that season, working on yourself. For the month before I met Roberto, I spent a month doing that, and it was the most beneficial thing I could have done for our future relationship without even knowing we would be dating.
which is point number 2. Point number 2 is working on yourself. A lot of people want, for a lack of a better term, a level 10 person, but they're a level 1 person. What I mean by that is, Roberto, I can't expect to meet a girl and marry a girl that's a level 10, right? She's disciplined, she's organized, she is certain about herself, she's got her finances straight, she is confident, she's got all these things going on for her, she's gorgeous, and then I don't have a job, I don't have self-discipline, I wake up at 2 o'clock every day, you know what I mean? You have to work on yourself. So during that time where you are working on yourself by being okay being alone, look for the areas that you need to work on, which could be on your faith, on your personal relationship with God, your friends, your family, maybe taking care of any unforgiveness or bitterness that you may have in your heart, so work on yourself in every area of life. I always think that no matter who you are, you need to work on yourself in the area of faith, finances, fitness, and relationships. So those are some areas that you could work on while you're trying to do that.
Yeah. And another area is to, really work on heart issues. So things that are like you said, like deep wounds, but also getting rid of past attachments to past relationships so that you don't bring that baggage into your future marriage. Because honestly, it's really easy to form like what they call a soul tie with an ex, and then you don't ever deal with that, and then it has the probability to come up once you're married and bring bad stuff into your marriage. You don't want to have to deal with that once you're married. It's far better to get rid of those things as much as possible before you get married.
I had 2 pretty bad relationships before I met Brittany, but thankfully I spent about a year just being alone, just working on myself. I used to be hooked on pornography, and I know that that's a big problem for men, and one of the things that I wanted to get rid of was that, working on my finances and working on other things. Now I didn't meet my goals necessarily before we got married, like in the areas of finances and some of that stuff, but I was very well on my way to working on those things. But the things that I did take care of was me personally, my faith, my who I was full. Like on the inside, I knew who I was. And so I knew that I could I could love somebody because I loved myself. I was okay being alone. I didn't feel like I always needed to have a girl there or always having to talk to a girl there, to where in the past I needed that. But when I felt like I was fine with myself, is I finally found Brittany.
It was the same case with me. Constantly going to person, and then when I was finally okay being alone and I worked on myself and I got rid of those past attachments, that's when we finally met. Because I was like, okay, God, like even if I don't get married and I truly meant it, I just want to serve you, I want to follow you, I want to do the things that you've called me to do with my life. And then I met him like a week later. It was crazy.
Yeah, you may not realize this, but sometimes we are the ones that are keeping ourselves from our destiny. Maybe the job that you're supposed to have, the career, the business, the person that you're supposed to meet could get here sooner if you become the person you're supposed to become. That's Absolutely. A big thing, because Disney movies have trained us young people to believe for Prince Charming or a princess without us becoming a Prince Charming or us becoming a princess, right? So we have to first become the person that we would be okay with marrying, right? If I want a disciplined person, then I need to be a disciplined person. If I want somebody that loves fitness, I need to be working on my health. If I want somebody that is good with their family, I need to be good. Like all those things that we want in another person, we want to first become those things. Because it would be selfish for you to expect all this awesome stuff from somebody else and you not have any of those qualities, right? Because love is a choice, it's not a feeling. Love is a choice, it's not a feeling. That's why we have so many broken relationships, because people feel like they always need to feel in love. They always need to have this feeling of, oh my gosh, I love it, you know what I mean? The little butterflies, right? I feel that sometimes, but that is not, it doesn't feel the same like when we were dating.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it's okay for a relationship to not feel exactly the same as the moment that you meet that person and you become infatuated with who they are. Infatuation is not bad, but if that's all you focus on, infatuation will destroy you.
And you're going to keep on going from one person to another one because you're going to be like, okay, I don't love this person anymore because that feeling is not there.
Right.
This person must not be the one because this person is not making me feel the way I used to feel.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah, so that was point number 2, work on yourself. And point number 3, which that was point number 3. Yeah, that's point number 3. So the next point would be to date to marry, don't date to date. Most people, they want to try to shoot, right, before they get married, right? So what I mean by that is they want to experience this person to the fullest of their ability. They want to do everything with them and then to eventually make a decision. Okay, this person could be good to marry, right? After we've gone on this dates, after we've had sex and all these different things, you know. I had some pretty broken relationships before I met Brittany. We were sexually involved in all these different things, you know. Now, when I met Brittany, I was a completely different person. She had never been with anybody. She had never even kissed anybody. You know, it was a different deal with me. But for us, one of the things that you don't want to do is be looking at all these different people and build those soul ties that we were talking about. Because if you're continually going out on dates, if you're continually making out with people, if you're continually doing all these different things to see if this person will be good, you're going to continually confuse your mind to the point where you have no idea what you want, you know? So
that would be the baby.
Yeah. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
So the next point is date to marry, don't date to date. And the main idea with that is that you don't want to always go on all these dates, dating 20 people, or dating a new person every single week to see if they will be a good potential person to date and then to marry. That's not necessary. Me and Brittany actually never even went on a date, and we'll talk about our story later, but if you're going around and hanging out with awesome, solid people that are friends, and you start getting to know friends, you don't have to get involved with them emotionally. You don't have to get involved with them sexually. You don't have to get involved with them in such a way that it would confuse your emotions so much to the point where you don't know, you can't make a rational decision, you know? So the best thing to do is to go and just be friends with people, you know? And then as you develop solid relationships without getting too involved, then you could begin to see, and as you get to know them, if that person will be the one that would be good to marry.
Mm-hmm. And their character always shows up, you know, or their character always will show who the person is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for a husband, you're going to want to look at what his character is as a friend, and you know, or as, if you're a Christian, as a brother in Christ, how he treats the people around him. And you'll be able to see, like, okay, is he a hard worker? Is he faithful? Is he a faithful friend? You know, is he, does he have any kind of knowledge and wisdom in his brain? Or does he only talk about things that don't really matter? All of those things are like huge things. And also any red flags that could potentially, you know, really disrupt a relationship will come up when you're friends. Obviously there's deeper matters that don't come out until you're dating somebody, but I really believe that any red flag that could turn into a huge issue down the road does show up at some point in a friendship. And if they come up, run away. You know, it's not worth your time trying to missionary date. We don't believe in that.
Or fix them.
Yes, or fixing them, because God does care about that person, and he will send somebody to help them. But it's not up to us to try to fix a person or to be their savior, because only God can do that. Only God can change a person's heart, and ultimately it's also up to them, because we each have a free will to decide what we do with our lives.
If people want to change, people will change. If they don't want to change, you can't even do anything. I mean, you can't even change your spouse. Once you're married, you can't even change your spouse.
Yeah.
You can help them, but you can't even make them do something, you know? So that's another thing. Don't go around going on so many dates, because I'm telling you, your heart is led by emotions most of the time. And if you're confusing your heart and your subconscious mind with all these different people, sometimes you can get so lost to where you don't even know what you want, you know? Going on so many dates and all these different things, trying the shoe first, trust me, I know. I've tried several shoes, and even though I thought they fit at the time, they didn't, you know? And the one shoe that I never tried, you know, before even putting it on, was the one that I didn't expect I was going to need in my life. So that's that point.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say with that point?
No.
And the last point is to learn what true love is. Learn what true love is. Love is sacrificial. Love is not a feeling. That's infatuation. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love forgives quick. If you learn what real love is, you will never experience divorce in your life. You will never experience some of the things that other people experience, because the main reason why we have so many wrong things in this world is because we don't know what real love is. And with this same point, have real relationships in your around you. Be around people that are willing to tell you the truth in love. Don't, if all you have is superficial friendships and relationships in your life, you're never going to become sharpened the way you would. Because if you have real relationships and real friendships around you that tell you the truth in love, that keep you accountable, and you can keep them accountable too, you guys will sharpen each other so good to where you guys will continue to become a better person, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, like if you can go to a friend and be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this situation, and you know that they have your back and that they have your best interests at heart, they can help you work through things. And not only that, you can go to counseling. You know, counseling isn't bad, and find a Christian counselor if you're a believer. Don't go seeking advice though from people that you know will just like agree with everything that you say. You don't want people to agree with everything that you say, or that your perspective is always the right perspective, because it very well could not be. And that takes a lot of humility. But I believe your marriage is worth it. It's worth it to really, you know, even if your spouse is like telling you, hey, you need to work on this, it's worth it to work it out and strive to become that better person so that your marriage thrives instead of falters. And you know, we know several people who have gone through divorces or are going through a divorce, and it's really heart-wrenching to see, you know, people that we truly deeply care about go through that, because it's absolutely horrific. But the thing is, that didn't need to have happened, you know, but it takes both parties working together in order to truly know what love is. It's sacrificial. And that ultimately that is the root of true love. It's a sacrifice to choose to love even when it's a hard thing. You know, like in our marriage, we dealt with pornography even after we got married, and it was really, really hard for me to say, okay, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to believe in you that God is going to deliver you from this. And it was really rocky for a while, like for 6 months. It was a struggle for me to forgive, you know, and to believe that God would transform Roberto's heart and that he would give him a pure heart. And he has, and he's continually doing that. And, you know, we've seen victory in that area of our lives together, you know, married. But yeah, you really need to know what the true meaning of love is in order for your
and it
marriage
works
to
in
work.
every area. It doesn't have to be just the big things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In marriage, it's not always going to be what your wife says, and it's not always going to be what your husband says. Most of the time, you guys are going to have to come to an agreement and meet in the middle. Both parties might not be the happiest, but if you guys both learn how to do that, then you guys will not experience a lot of heartache, because it's not always going to go your way. It's not always going to go her way. You know, the whole happy wife, happy life is bullcrap. You know, what if the husband is miserable? You know, then that's not a good marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Both spouses need to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for both spouses need to be happy, there's 3 rules to have a successful marriage. And I learned this in a book that is incredible. It's called The Language of Sex. It says, honor leads to security, which leads to
Intimacy.
trust,
Oh, trust.
which leads to intimacy. So in marriage, you want to make sure that there's first honor. If there's honor between both of you guys, then there will be security. Both of you guys will feel secure with one another, and you guys will be able to trust each other, and there will be true intimacy in the relationship. As you pursue this relationship, and as you guys are married, love should be deeper. I love Brittany way more than I did whenever we first got married. Mm-hmm. You know, we've grown in our love. We've grown in the way we learn how to communicate with another. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to connect. Mm-hmm. So learning how to do that before you're even married, then some of the ways that you can begin to do that is with your friends. But in order for you to do that is by having real friends, not fake friends that are always going to tell you what you want to hear, or that are not really serious about life, you know? So pursuing friendships that have something going on, are willing to tell the truth in love, are willing to keep you accountable so that you can grow and they can grow. So learn how to love well.
Yes.
So these are some of the points. Obviously, they're not all the points, but those are 5 points that have helped us in our marriage. And we've only been married for 3 years. Obviously, there's not a lot that we can say to people, right? But I would have loved for a young couple to have taught me some of the things that I needed to learn when I was single. Because I was a dipstick when I was single. I mean, I'm talking about, it was a bad deal. I had no idea what I was doing. He was always just all physical, right? So if you guys could take 1 point, 2 points, maybe all of them, and apply them to your life, and it helps you out, we would love to hear about it. If there's any points that you guys thought maybe we could expound on and make a future video on, we would love for you to do that. Share with your friends, share with anybody that might benefit from this. If you're married, I think these points could also benefit you. And we'll see you on the next video.
Yes. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Forever